Hello, my name's Tom, and I'm gonna milk a video topic based on some trendy Dead by Daylight community drama for at least 3 videos, maybe 4 videos. If you ever made a video chasing a trend and then, realized that you didn't actually put your point across for what the entire video was meant to be about, because that's what I did. So this is going to be extremely fast, and I'm going to tell you what I think would make SWF fairer and more balanced. We're not going to talk about drama. We're not going to talk about spirit. We're not going to do any of that stuff. We're just this is my suggestion, very, very simply. So there's 2 benefits to survive with friends. The first is that you're probably going to be playing with people of a fairly high skill level, more likely to be playing with someone of a high skill level than through solo queue, or at the very least, you're going to know roughly how good they are at the game and plan your strategy around that. There's no way of improving that without introducing the MMR system or something like that, and I don't think we want that as a community. So I think that idea has been put to bed now anyway. Very high up. That's better. The second benefit of Survive with Friends is communication. And I think there is a way around that. Now, hear me out, because what I'm about to suggest is that in order to balance Survive with Friends, we first need to buff solo queue. It's not really a buff. What I'm going to suggest is not really a buff. My suggestion is to basically provide an Apex Legends style pinging system. So for those that don't know, in Apex, you press the middle mouse button that creates a ping that other people in your team can see. And this is context specific. Your character will say a voice line. Say, for example, you ping an open door. Your character will say, there's an open door over there. Or if you ping a supply bin, it will say, supply bin over there. Or if you ping an enemy, it will say, target spotted. You can also press F while looking to actually say, enemy over there, just in case you're not actually clicking on an enemy. What this means is that without being on comms, you're not really at a disadvantage. You're still at a slight disadvantage, but it's nowhere near as significant as having no way of communicating at all. I'm not the first person to suggest this. In fact, I'm fairly certain Scott Jund made a video where he actually created some mock-ups. What I want to talk about is why this would balance Survive with Friends. Right now, when you make a change, let's say, for example, you were to make gens 10% slower. When you make that change, that's going to be affecting both solo queue survivors and grouped survivors. Every single design decision in the game, from perk balance changes, from new perk ideas, killer power changes, killer powers, potentially new game mechanics, will impact solo queue players and Survive with Friends players differently, making it incredibly hard to balance. You could introduce balance changes for just one side, for just Survive with Friends, but that's going to basically punish people for playing with their friends, and people want to play with their friends. It's a team game. You're going to want to play with your friends. So by adding this pinging system in, essentially what you're able to do is level the playing field a bit between solo queue and Survive with Friends in terms of who has the advantage. Once you have a balanced playing field between solo queue and Survive with Friends, and there isn't that much of a benefit to having Survive with Friends, you can then make balance changes that affect both sides equally. At that point, if you increase gen speed by 10%, then thanks for the follow, Josh the Penguin! If you make balance changes, it's going to affect both sides more or less equally now, which means that devs have the freedom to, say, increase gen speeds by 10% like is being suggested. This isn't a new idea, like I say. Lots of people have already spoken about this, including Scott Jund, so I'm not trying to pass this off as my own idea. It's something that I think is done really, really well in Apex Legends, and it would be great if we had a system like that. But I haven't seen anyone bring it up in the context of balancing Survive with Friends, and I think this is really important. One more thing I want to touch on in this video. I've seen people suggest that they should make it so the killer can see in the lobby when survivors are grouped up. I thoroughly disagree with that, because realistically, and I'm going to do the same thing, if I was to see that I'm with a 4-man survive group, I'm going to drop that logi? I'm going to drop that lobby. I'm just going to dodge it. The only way to fix that is to offer some sort of compensation, like, oh, okay, this is a 4-man SWF. You get double blood points for this game, but I don't think Behavior will do that. I think they're quite nervous to make balance changes to the way the grind is in the game. So that's my suggestion on how to balance Survive with Friends. I'm interested in actually hearing what you guys think. I saw a lot of people in my last video saying no or yes, or here's why I think it should be balanced or why I think it shouldn't be balanced, and not so many suggestions on, how could it be balanced. So if you want to leave your comments about that, I am going to be milking this topic for one more video. I've got a pretty cool video in mind where I go through your controversial opinions that I asked for in the last video and respond to each one individually. So I think that'll be my next video. Sorry about the lack of editing in these videos. These videos are a lot more fun to make. I like discussion videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I had a couple of rough games, but we had some good games.